So, Rachel, after 2 days, what are some of the key impressions from the discussions that you had? What kind of stuck with you?
So I think it's really interesting, the discussions around AI. We're now talking about the AI Act, how that's going to play out for AI in Europe, but also the real practicalities. So, we're actually talking about a sort of legal side of things, how we're going to get indemnity insurance against this, corporate indemnity, because there are many clinicians taking individual risk at the moment by using AI. We're also talking about sandboxes. So both Europe, the UK have got sandboxes. There's been some really good discussion about what a sandbox is, how you learn from a sandbox, how you create legislation and practice from a sandbox. So for me, it's been super interesting discussion because there's been practitioners, there's been lawyers, there's been, policymakers, and having everyone in the room and having that oversight of where the EU AI Act is in terms of healthcare, where it's going and what that practically means has been really interesting.
So, where do you anticipate most challenges, especially with the rapid development of technology? And also, from the industry perspective, many say that they shouldn't even bother with the EU AI Act till 2026 because it's not going to be enforced until then. So, where do you stand on those topics, and what do you hear from others?
So we certainly need some rules of the road, right? Because we cannot let AI just, happen unregulated. But I think what's really practical is we're taking steps to learn and we're taking steps to actually change policy. And we had a really good debate about, do we need to change how we create policy for this, and do we need the cadence to be faster? Do we need to be able to, iterate? If we get another thing that happens, like generative AI, how will we react? So there are some really good discussions about changing policy cadence.
Do you have any specific concerns when it comes to AI and policy and how it's developing in Europe compared to other markets?
Well, there is a chance that the AI Act could slow us down. Yeah, but we do need regulation, and there's a balance, there's a tightrope, and we had some really good debates about how you walk that tightrope of balancing risk and opportunity, because too slow, that's not going to help us. Too fast could be dangerous. So how do you do that? So yes, I am concerned, but equally I think we're having that debate now, which is really healthy.
So, who seems to be kind of the most skeptical stakeholder at the moment? And also, in the best case scenario, where do you think we could be in 2 years?
That's interesting. I'm not sure where we're going to be in 2 years. And I do hope that we're adopting more AI to save lives and improve lives. The key stakeholders at the moment, I think, really are governments, because each government is going to have to set up a sandbox in Europe so that they can work through what this means for them and their country. And so I think each of the national governments are the key stakeholders now in Europe.
But if each country is going to have their own sandbox, what's that going to mean for solution providers? How do you see that that's going to kind of hinder scaling?
Well, obviously the European Union will join across, and there will be an ability to actually deploy across multiple sandboxes. Yes, we do need to make sure that we've got that joined up, but I'm very hopeful from what I've seen from the team in the EU that they are considering all of these things. But it's going to be an interesting journey. In 2 years' time, I don't know where we'll be, but I do hope we've got some more AI that is actually doing great work for us and helping us improve efficiencies. I think we start at that end. We start at the non-clinical end and make sure that we're driving out, sort of the work that humans shouldn't do in health systems. But as we get towards the more clinical, we've sort of learnt from, the simpler pieces around automation. And so that kind of spectrum is another theme. And so I'm hoping we see more of that sort of automation around the back office.